We are live.
Hello.
I've got a special guest with me tonight.
Hello.
Welcome everyone into the stream. So tonight is we are going to be talking about our favorite rides at Disney. And then if you could only ride 7 rides for the whole time you were at Disney, like you had to pick in the app, like you were there for a week, how many, these are the rides that you could only ride.
Okay.
Okay. And it's weird looking behind me.
Well, I'm sorry.
So welcome in, Christine Hickman. Glad that you are here. Thank you so much for being here. So, favorite rides at Disney. What are your favorite rides at Disney?
Me?
Yes.
If I had to name 7, it would be Soarin.
Talk louder so they can hear you.
It would be Soarin.
Okay.
Test Track. Pirates of the Caribbean. Technically, it's not a ride, but it moves.
Okay, we'll count it as a ride.
So, Carousel Progress.
Okay.
It's 4. Tower of Terror. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Sorry, I was just checking to make sure that y'all could hear him.
Kilimanjaro Safari.
Okay.
6 or 5.
I wasn't keeping count. You're a big boy, you count.
I don't know. So some of them are gone, so otherwise I'd include Great Movie Ride and...
Okay, so mine would be Haunted Mansion. If I could just...
that would be all 7.
That's actually probably true. I would at least just go, here's my little ticket. Just punch it again. I'm going around again. You know, like when you were at the carnivals, like at the fair growing up, and there was like no one in line, and they're like, "You want to ride it again?" Sure, I've got my little wristband on. Let's get it go. Okay, so Haunted Mansion in the Magic Kingdom, it'd be Haunted Mansion. It would be Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. In Epcot, it would be Soarin' and Test Track. In Animal Kingdom, it would be the Safari. That's 6. And in Studios, it would I don't ride anything in Studios.
Star Tours.
Okay, thanks. Star Tours. There we go. I'm like, I don't ride anything in Studios now. I really don't. I don't ride Studios. Studios used to be a full day park for us, and
yeah, because of the Backlot Tour, and that would be my ride in that. And Great Movie Ride would be my rides in Studios, but
right.
So much for Catastrophe Canyon.
Right. Hashtag RIP Catastrophe Canyon. So why would those be your picks?
Well, I would honestly say Soarin' and Test Track because they're 2 rides that we do greatly enjoy in Epcot.
I don't like the going up and coming down of Soarin'.
Soarin' I can put into one word. Fiji.
Oh my gosh, the smell of Fiji. I need that in some sort of candle or room spray or something because that smell is just amazing.
That's what I say. I can use one word for that one. Okay. Test Track? Test Track's just always fun to be able to build your car and test it out and try to beat you.
Yeah, we actually, right now, I know sometimes they're letting people build cars and sometimes they aren't right now. But normally Sam and I will design our own cars individually and compete. So that's a lot of fun. So even if like you're a group, you can tell them, hey, we would like to design cars individually. It's something like, especially if you have like a couple kids, you can pair off one with mom, one with dad, one with grandma, grandpa, Aunt Susie, whatever. And the kids can each build their own cars instead of having to compromise on it. Because we know how well that sometimes goes over.
And then for the third one, I said Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Pirates just has that nostalgic feel that you're back, the way it was meant to be, and the way outside of what has been changed for logical reasoning.
Right. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
It still feels like an old ride and an old experience.
Not like as an old, like antiquated, but
I'd say no.
Old as in like original.
If that were the case, my favorite ride would be Manchester, USA, but it's not really a ride.
We're walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA.
I'd say some of my top 7, honestly, if I didn't go off of ones you have to get in line for,
right,
would include the Skyliner. Would include.
Okay. What? What are your top 7 that aren't rides? And hello, Griswold Family Vacay, welcome in. Please ignore Peaches in the background. She says no. She says no, don't ignore me. Okay, so why do you like the Skyliner? Because I'm kind of with cargo. That thing is a death trap in the sky.
It reminds me of the ones in Europe. And as a kid in Europe, from time to time, it was just part of the experience. And it's a whole nostalgic feeling, just like with Pirates.
Sam knows not to put me on one of those. We've been on one of those.
I'd say I could also include the boats back and forth to Magic Kingdom from TDC.
What I mentioned this on, I think it was Orlando Mike's stream, that kind of when you stay on property, I think it's great for like timing wise, being able to.
But you miss something.
Yeah, it misses something.
The boat
from
the TTC.
I have
because it honestly feels like you are coming into a new country,
right?
Which your Magic Kingdom's supposed to be its own kingdom,
right?
And you feel that more on the boat than you do. Ooh, look, I'm at the bus. I got on. Yay.
Meow. She's fine. She's just mad. I wish, if we're talking about nostalgia now, that you could still ride. Sorry, I am playing with the slinky. I wish you could still ride up. Everyone knows it's Slinky. It's Slinky. It's Slinky. For fun, it's a wonderful toy. Peaches doesn't like my singing apparently now. I totally forgot what I was going. Oh, monorail. I wish you could still ride up front with the pilot, which because that's something that I never got to experience or even get the option to experience because they had already ended it.
But it was for safety purposes.
I get that.
It was for safety purposes. I'd say the bus is never going to be on my top list of rides. Sorry.
The bus is there to get you from point A to point B in the quickest route. Reasonable. But no, here's like a big note. Don't take if you're planning to go on New Year's Eve to a park or Christmas Day.
Take a bus.
Yeah.
The night before.
Yeah. Or, hope to be able to get a seat. Because they pack. Okay, they probably don't pack you into the buses anymore, which is nice.
Well, it's not at the moment.
Right.
But
Peaches is practicing for Halloween. She's going to be a werewolf.
I'm sure he was.
No, she's okay. Maybe she's a werecat.
So back to my original list. I think I went from Pirates to Carousel Progress. Yes, it's technically a ride, but the stage doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like, can I make it a ride?
Yes.
I can make it a ride. I can justify it being a ride. And I mean,
You love Carousel Progress.
It is the closest thing to having Walt in the park that we will ever have.
I agree with that.
Because so much of his sweat, blood, tears, and time went into Carousel Progress for the World's Fair.
Yes, very much so.
Are you going to quit playing with your Slinky?
No! It's my Slinky. Leave me alone. I can play with it if I want to.
Anyway.
I dropped my orange one, so I had to get a new one. You see?
Some people's children.
Hey, you married me.
Some people's wives.
Slinky, for fun, it's a wonderful toy.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Hey, Moments of the Magic. Hey, y'all stopping in while at work. Well, thank you for stopping in, Moments of the Magic. Greatly appreciate it. We are talking about if we could only ride 7 rides at Disney for the duration of vacation, what would those 7 rides be and why? We have decided that for this, Carousel Progress does count as a ride.
And I went into what? Number 5. What was my number 5?
Kilimanjaro Safari.
Oh. Okay. It makes it not feel like a zoo.
Yeah.
Because to me, otherwise, it kind of feels a little bit like a zoo.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom is not one of our, like...
It is not a 4-day. It is not even an every trip.
I only went, this past year on New Year's Day.
One big in Avatar.
No, not real big in Avatar. So...
No, if they had opened it the way they originally thought about...
Right, with Beastly Kingdom.
That might have been a little more interesting or up our alley.
Right. Just not a Pandora fan. So you're on number 5. What's number 6?
I don't remember.
Okay, we'll pick one. Oh, the Skyliner.
Oh. I kind of went into that already.
No. I'm playing with my Slinky. Number 7?
I don't know if I had one.
Okay, pick one.
So you get to talk about yours.
Okay. My number 1 would be Haunted Mansion, and that is because that is my house.
And so would number 2 through 7.
So I hope that you are enjoying my house, everyone who is at Disney. Madame Leota is my friend.
She's the 1,000th happy haunt.
I am the 1,000th happy haunt. It is reserved for me. I just love the Haunted Mansion. Like, I will say that, like, the first time we rode it and, like, we tipped backwards, like, freaked me out. I think I screamed.
You did. It was kind of funny.
You can hear these little kids go, "Mommy, why is that lady screaming?" And I get some good jump scares out of the graveyard area where, like, they're popping up from behind the headstones. So riding with me is sometimes comical.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love the Haunted Mansion. I just think it's great. Number 2 would be Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And I think that is because it holds several special places in my heart. One, it's the first roller coaster I rode at Disney. Or ever.
No.
Did we ride Seven Doors first?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, then...
It was after that I was able to drag you on to Big Thunder.
Okay. Then that makes sense. Okay, so if you have not watched any of my videos from our vacation, we met up with Does Our Dream
a bunch of people
and Monarch Moments, and we were in line to ride Big Thunder, and no one knew this. It's not something I had, like, told anybody, but one of my bucket list things to do on this last trip was to see the fireworks while riding Big Thunder. And we're getting ready to come out, and you start hearing this boom, boom. And I, like, whiplashed my head over to Sam, and I went, "That's fireworks." And I'm, like, grabbing for my phone, and...
No, it's not, isn't it?
Right, that's exactly what he said. And and we come out and it's fireworks everywhere. And so I'm videoing and I'm crying and Sam's looking at me like I'm an idiot because I'm crying while riding Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And we get off of the ride, and everyone's like, Lena, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I'm like, it was a bucket list moment. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I wanted to ride Big Thunder while the fireworks were going on. And so it was so neat to be able to do it with our friends, like at the same time. Number 3 would be Seven Dwarfs Mine Train because it was the first roller coaster ever that I've ridden.
Yeah.
I mean,
I couldn't drag her on any of them before. I probably won't be able to do any others. Oh, wait. You went on some. The other part.
I did. I like the Mummy at Universal. But I like the only roller coaster I had been on previously is the little worm one that was
the little gator.
Like the little worm or gator at county fairs growing up. We didn't go to amusement parks. We didn't go to theme parks growing up.
The Wild Rat.
Where the what?
The Wild Rat.
What the heck is the Wild Rat?
Coney Island.
I'm totally lost now. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. It was the first roller coaster that I rode, and a lot of people don't like it. I really like it. I think it's fun. It's not geared to be.
It's immersive, but not near as immersive as Rise of the Resistance or something
right.
like that.
And it isn't. It's not meant to be like rock and roller coaster that shoots you out of a cannon at 6,000 bazillion miles an hour.
Only 70.
Whatever. It's supposed to be a family coaster, and I really do think it is. And I think for a family coaster that it's good. And like I said, I know some people don't like it. Some people are like, it's too short. It's too hard to get a fast pass for, blah, 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 blah. Well, sorry. I actually like it. Soarin, so that's my 3 in Magic Kingdom. Test Track, I like it kind of for the same reason that Sam does. We get to each design our own cars and then compete against each other. It's a lot of fun to be able to, and we try to hide them from each other as we're like designing. So we'll be like kind of sideways and trying to design so the other person can't see. He's amping that up. I better change this so that I can have more power or more speed or more eco-friendly. But his is never eco-friendly. His is like on the opposite spectrum of eco-friendly.
I'm as eco-friendly as a Hummer.
And it usually is the specs of a Hummer. Soarin, that was another ride that terrified me on our first trip. And like we had watched videos, like POV videos and stuff leading up to it. But like it's the going up and coming back down. It like gives me a vertigo. And so
the erector set.
Yeah, the erector set. If you haven't watched some of the making video and the creating videos on like designing the parks, I definitely recommend watching those because they're really good. But Peaches is sitting here purring now. She is happy. But so I know, like I wear sandals, so I take out the sandals and I put them in the little pouch underneath.
And don't forget your ears.
Yeah, and don't forget to take off your ears, even though they cover your bald spot. Sam laughs at me every time because I'm literally sitting there with my feet, and I will admit it, I put my seatbelt through the little kid's safety strap before I buckle it in. The cast member goes, you know that you're over like the height limit. You don't have to do that. And I go, yes, I do, because if I don't, I will slide out and I will die. And he goes, okay then. He wasn't quite quite sure how to respond to that. But like I'm literally trying to dig my toes into the floor to keep it from going up because me digging my toes into the ground is gonna make it not move. And so I know like Sam will either go, "Hey, you're good," or I can kind of feel when it stops, and so I'm able to open my eyes because I close them as soon as you hear it click. My eyes are shut, and I'm like, okay, and I can do it. And then I know that once we get to Epcot, and like you get some fireworks, and then all of a sudden the massive fireworks go off, it's gonna start coming down. So I hold on and I close my eyes, and I'm like, oh, I'm back on the ground again. I'm back on the ground again. I'm back on the ground again. I have lived through it again. And huge kudos to Sam. While we were on, I do have a front row POV section B, I think. I think section B of Soarin on the channel under the Disney playlist. It is the first time we've ever been in the front row. And Sam was very gracious enough to record it for me because I'm like, holy cats, we're in the front row. Yeah, that was me. So Kilimanjaro Safari, I really do like that.
Don't worry, she finds a chicken exit at Main Street.
And I just dropped another Slinky.
Oh, wow.
That's okay, I've got more sitting here. Animal Kingdom.
Now, before we continue,
yes.
Which Soarin? The new Soarin?
Oh.
Or the old Soarin?
I like them both. I really wouldn't want to choose. I do miss like the orange grove smell.
But I love Fiji.
But all the new smells, like.
Yep, elephant smells great.
It smells like Kansas. It smells like a Kansas ranch. It makes me laugh every time. But the smell in Fiji is, like I said earlier, I just want it in a candle or in a room spray because it's phenomenal. Kilimanjaro Safari. I like that you could, if you stayed on and rode 5 times in a row, you would not get the same experience each time. It would be different. In some way, it would be different. Maybe the lion is awake one time you go through. The next time the lion is sleeping.
He's eating the gazelle.
No. One time you see the hippos, the next time you don't. It's always something different on the safari because it's live animals. They're doing something. They're roaming around. Maybe one time a rhino walks in front of your Jeep and you're stalled for 20 minutes. I mean, it's just different every time. And so I think that's why I like it like that one. It is very different each time you ride it. And I remember, and the only reason I think about that is because the first time we rode it, we were really disappointed. We didn't have that great of a travel guide. And we were getting off, and I kind of said something to you, and I'm like, man, that wasn't what I expected. And a lady comes by and goes, go ride it again. Because each of the travel guides are different, and you're going to get a different spiel, and you're going to get a different experience. Welcome in, Cricket Fox. Good morning. How are you? Down under. And I'm really glad that we went back and rode it a second time that day because it really was a completely different experience, a completely different feel. Mm-hmm. And so the last one would be, I caught it, yay. Otherwise that would have been 3 on the floor. The last one would be Star Tours.
You whacked it.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's not your favorite.
That's not the reason it's my favorite. Star Tours, even though I think there's only been 1 or 2 times we've gotten something that's different, it's still fun to ride and to watch. One time I was the Rebel Spy. Here is something though that I wish Star Tours had. 1, you can't video the ride. You can't have any phones or anything out during the ride.
It won't look right anyway.
Right, it wouldn't look right anyway. But two, I think that because they show your photo, if you are the spy, there's a photo that comes up on the screen, and I think that if you are the rebel spy, there should be like a photo stop in the gift shop where you can scan your magic band and have that photo added to your account, because it's got like a little border on it and stuff on there. So that is something that I wish that you could get. I mean, you can get a t-shirt that says I was the rebel spy, but I mean, Sam was never the rebel spy, and he could walk up and buy a t-shirt that says I was the rebel spy. You know what I mean? So I think that it wouldn't be that hard to do, I don't think. So it is something that I've mentioned in like surveys. So excuse me, I hope that it's something that Disney will eventually add to it. I don't think it would be that hard. Cricket says, it's raining today. It has been in the 70s today here. It's been really nice. This is definitely fall weather here in Kansas.
Well, tomorrow officially begins fall.
Yeah, tomorrow is the official first day of fall. So, and I think that if I had to pick and this would be hard, I'd have to pick between two. Okay, I'll give myself two because I can, right?
Sure, why not?
If I could bring back two rides, they would be the full Backlot Tour, which is something that Sam and I didn't get to experience. We only got to see the modified version. Like, there was no houses or anything. They had already started
the residential streets of America.
Yeah, the residential streets were gone already.
You still had the streets of New York for Newsies. But...
Right. I would bring all of that back. And I would bring back Great Movie Ride. I'm sorry, I do not like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I think it's stupid. I think the characters look like they're stoned. Sorry. Mickey and Minnie don't... Goofy, like the worst of all, looks strung out. I mean, he does! They look like they're on drugs. I'm sorry. And this is not... And I am not the first person to say so.
Okay.
So, if you like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, good for you. I'm happy that you like it, but I don't. I do not like it. I think it was I think it could have been done differently where they still put it in, but left us Great Movie Ride.
Yeah.
You still had one ride that you didn't name.
Well, I've been thinking of one that would either be an honorable mention or will be my seventh. And it honestly happens once unless you're staying off property.
Okay.
And that is the ride, whether you're on the Magical Express, your rental car, your personal car, whatever, going through the main entrance.
Like the very first time you ever... Okay.
No. Like, when you do it. Whether it's the very first time, whether it's your first time back to the park.
Okay. It's that initial moment under the arch.
Yeah. That is technically a ride.
It is. I cried.
I think we both did the first year, but mine was mainly because I was like, God, I get out of the car.
For those of you who don't know, because I wasn't vlogging then, we drove literally straight from Kansas to Florida. We left at 11 a.m. on a Friday and got in at 1 p.m. on a Saturday. It took a little over 24 hours to get there with gas and food stops and the random bathroom stop. Cricket Fox says that yes, they got the full tour on their honeymoon and it was a blast. Oh, that's so awesome, Cricket Fox. Sam was just excited to be able to stop the car.
I get out.
We got our luggage in. We were only staying on property one night. But we went to... It was pouring down rain, and we slept. Sam was so excited. He was so excited to sleep.
So my rides are slightly different than what would be traditionally considered the theme park ride
Yeah.
because it's the boat, it's the Skyliner, it's going through. You're going onto property,
Mhm.
whether it's the first time, whether it's you're going back for another vacation, whether you're staying off property and getting to drive through it every day.
That was our first trip.
Well, we went through the side gate, so it wasn't quite as.
It still was an arch. It was just a little one.
Yeah.
When I went to book this trip, I called and asked about a military discount, and the lady started yelling at me that they didn't do military discounts. And so we ended up booking our week
Yeah.
off property through Priceline. And
Minus the first night.
yeah, and then we ended up, because originally we weren't going to leave until Saturday because Sam didn't want to miss any work. But then he said, hey, I put it in for Friday. We're going to need a night. And I said, do you want me to book a night on property? He's like, yeah, the cheapest one you can get. So I think we were All-Star Movies. We were All-Star Movies.
We were back in Herbie.
Yeah, we were back with her, but I love that. We were in the Love Bug section. Melanie's Magical Adventures. Mel. Hey, girl, I haven't seen you in ages. We need to chat. I am so sad that the All-Star Resorts aren't open right now.
Yeah.
Because I need a trip.
And you won't be staying at Pop.
No.
You don't like the Skyliner.
And that makes me very sad. That unless
Pop became our home resort.
Yeah, Pop became our home resort. We stayed there in 2015. We stayed there 1 week in 1 week in 2015 over Halloween. We got to see the Halloween to Christmas to transition. That was really cool.
And missed that for the very first Christmas
We
party
left
by one night
on the day of the last Christmas party. It killed me. And then we didn't go in 16 because Sam was doing a lot of medical stuff and he had to use his PTO which is paid time off. He had to use that for doctor's appointments instead of vacation. But we were able to do 2 weeks at Pop Century over Thanksgiving with the free dining plan because we got there the last day that it was offered and we got there on the time, so we got it for the full time. And then in 2018 we stayed off property and we did more of we did kind of a combo. We did 1 day at SeaWorld, 1 day at Epcot for food and wine, and then we did a couple days at Universal for the parks and for Halloween Horror Night. Sorry, weird pain spasm just went through my knee. But then in 2019, 2020, the trip we just came back from, we were at Pop Century for 2 weeks again. And so it's going to be really hard not to stay at Pop Century. But because I don't ride the Skyliner, I'm terrified of it. And it's the only way to get to Studios or Epcot if you miss the bus. And because they only run one bus per hour.
Unless we take a rental car.
Right. Unless we do a rental car, then, or unless we have driven. Well, right. I guess if we drive, we're going to take a rental car.
If we drive, we're going to take a rental car? That makes sense.
I'm going to mark you with my permanent marker. Or I'm going to throw my slinky at you. Where'd it go?
You threw it on the floor already.
Oh, man. I'm down 3 slinkies, people. We would have to drive to Epcot or Studios just because I cannot do the Skyliner. It gives me like an anxiety attack to think that I would have to do the Skyliner. Like, here's how bad it was. St. Peaches even agrees with me.
Peaches yells about everything.
She does. She yells about everything. It had started off really, really cool that morning. So we had on jeans and long sleeves, and as the day progressed, it got warm. And so Sam's like, you just hang out here, get you a drink, and I'll go back to the room and get tank and shorts for you. I'll change real quick and come back. And you had that app where I could track where you were at.
Glimpse.
And so I could see exactly where he was at, and he would send it as soon as he left. And that's the day that I got my knee messed up by the lady in Epcot. That's not fun. That still gives me problems. But
one thing I will say,
yeah.
don't go to Coronado and expect to get on the Skyliner.
Okay, please tell that story because it makes me laugh every time. We had split up. It was New Year's Day. Sam didn't have a park ticket, but I had my annual pass. So I got up and went to Animal Kingdom. Then I met back up with you at the hotel, and we took the bus over to Studios and got on the boat and got off at the Swan Dolphin because we were going to go to Fantasia Gardens. Then we walked back over to the boardwalk, which is where we split up. You headed to Disney Springs and I went into Epcot. And this is where it gets really funny.
Well, I thought I would jump on the bus back to. I was gonna beat her because I was gonna jump on the bus. There was a huge line for Pop because it seemed like everywhere we went there was a huge line for Pop, and the Art of Animation bus was way away. So I'm like, well, I'll jump on the bus to Coronado. It hooks up with the Skyliner because I had a bad issue of confusing Caribbean and Coronado. Well, needless to say, the Skyliner does not connect to Coronado.
Okay, Sam, in the midst of this, I'm on a bus back to Pop Century, and he's like, "Hey, I'm on the mini bus, and we're on the main road headed back to the resort, and I'm gonna hop on the Skyliner." And I go, "Wait, is it a red bus with Minnie on the back?" He goes, "Yeah." Well, I'm like, "I'm in the bus right behind you," because I had jumped on the Art of Animation bus because it was right next to it at Epcot. So I'm like, "Hey, race you to the room." So
2 hours later, I get there.
2 hours? I literally was about to call Disney security because I'm like, okay, where is he? His phone had died. And he's like, I took the wrong bus. I then had to get a bus to Disney Springs and get.
No, I had to get a bus. I didn't.
That was right.
To Disney Springs. I jumped the bus to
Magic Kingdom. And Magic Kingdom back to the room. I will admit, I almost fell off the bed. I was laughing so hard. I was very glad that
I had even told you I'm jumping on the Coronado bus, and you said
nothing. Because I went, oh, okay. Because I get them mixed up too. We will not get them mixed up anymore.
No.
And Melanie says, side note, can I just say how amazingly delicious that food from the pickup line looked?
Delicious.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. I am looking forward to Friday. It's carne asada nachos and loaded fries. This is not going to bode well for my weight loss. For those of you who don't know, who have not seen the video, I am in an official partnership with a restaurant here in town called the Pickup Line, and they are busy all the time. They've got kids, they're running a restaurant, and they don't have time to do videos and photos of their food. So in exchange for me making content for the channel, Sam and I get free food. So the first video, the one that I did for this is my town, that one they did not comp. That one I paid for on my own. The massive burrito.
But the one that's
right, the Japanese bento box is the first one that they sponsored, and so I'm waiting for the menu for this week to come up. It's kind of nice not having to worry about dinner a few nights a week. It was so good. I was so full. I could not finish it all. And if Sam's yelling uncle and there's food left, that it was very filling.
So
stop. No. Mel is one of my newest mods. Because we don't see on StreamYard, it's not blue on this side. It's only, so I was telling Sam that she's one of our mods. Because after the first of the year, every once in a while, Sam's going to start having some solo videos.
I think it'll end up being more spring before it happens.
Yep. So, and it's gonna be called Sundays with Sam, and so he's going to take on some filming responsibilities. So definitely make sure that if you haven't got this bell as solid, make sure it's solid. Jeff, only passengers, welcome in. Glad that you're here. Glad that you are here. We are talking about if you could only pick for the duration of your vacation 7 rides, and that can include like Carousel Progress, it could count the ferry boat, Skyliner. What would your 7 be? And they can be across the parks. They can include the water parks, which I didn't tell you, but
it could also include the parasailing.
Oh, you want to do the parasailing? That is something that is on Sam and I's bucket list, and we do have a trip coming up beginning of May.
Something
like that, beginning of May. And so I'm hoping that parasailing is open by then, because that is something that I'm going to be treating Sam to do. I won't go. You could pay me enough to go, but Sam will definitely be up there, and he will do some videoing for that.
I may even find a place in Orlando that does skydiving.
We're only there for a week, babe.
Okay.
Living with the land.
Yeah, I agree. Living with the land.
Oh, that's a good one.
Especially once you get the holiday overlay and stuff.
Oh, the holiday overlay was really cool. If you missed it, this year was the first year that they had an overlay for Living with the Land, and it was really neat. We never did ride it at night with the lights on.
No, we need to.
But the lights were on part of the day, and it did make a really cool difference. Like, they had Santa hats on some of the shrubbery. I want to take the behind the scenes tour, because apparently you get to eat like fresh veggies and stuff while on the tour.
And it's not badly priced.
It's
the
super
cheapest
cheap
of them all. Like, it's like $25.
Yeah, it's super cheap. I don't know if they're doing any tours right now or not, but I mean, we're not there anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I'd say it's not.
Mel.
It's neither this nor that.
Right, it's neither here nor there. But, well, those were our 7 rides at Disney. A little bit of what's coming up for us. So I think we're going to go ahead and end it here. I know it's not been a full hour, but we have discussed what we're going to discuss tonight. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Christine Hickman, Griswold Family Vacay, Moments of the Magic, Cricket Fox, Mel, Jeff with Only Passengers, and I think he gave us his 7. People Mover, oh, that's another good one. Soarin, The Train Around Magic Kingdom. Oh,
I miss it.
Like, when we were on vacation, like, it killed him not to be able to ride the train.
I even spent a lot of my time when we weren't necessarily together at the train station.
Here was the thing. You know how you tell a kid, go to a certain spot if you get lost, and we will come find you? If I had gotten lost, all I needed to do was go to the train station. Sam would eventually show up there. Living with the Land, Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Rise of the Resistance. Those are all really good ones, Jeff. So we hope that you guys enjoyed this stream. Sam is going to be joining me for more of our live streams and stuff going on. And
I think so.
And like I said, starting in the spring, Sam is going to have his own segment called Sundays with Sam. If you have any things that you would like him to do for his stream, please feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram. Apparently, he's going to do things like skydiving and parasailing and ziplining and all those fun, terrifying things. Hey, maybe we could go to Gatorland and you can do the zipline over the gators.
Okay. Can I feed them as I go over?
I don't know. What are you going to do? Cut off your toes as you or something? I mean, sheesh.
I got peaches.
Wait a minute. And she's just looking up and I'm like, what did I do? # save peaches. So that is it for this evening. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight, and we will see you Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Walt Disney World time for Thursday's live stream, of which I do not have a topic yet. So we will see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.